Hi everyone, it's Tanya and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a slightly different type of video that I haven't done before. It's a very exciting one and I hope you will enjoy it because I'm so excited. Last night was the night when the International Man Booker Prize competition announced the winner. I still haven't seen the winner, so I was trying to avoid all the articles and stuff from the morning because I wanted to watch the announcement video with you, and that's what we are going to do. I did a reading vlog where I read all the 6 books shortlisted for the International Man Booker Prize 2020. If you haven't seen that, you can watch it. I will link it up here. I shared with you my opinions about those books, and today is the day when we are going to know the winner. Before we watch the announcement, let me just remind you of all the books that were shortlisted in no particular order. One of them was Yoko Agawa Memory Police, which is a dystopian novel about a world where things are slowly disappearing. So it's like government decides that this certain thing for some reason isn't necessary anymore. This thing just disappears from people's memory. It's like they don't have any emotional connection to this thing anymore. They don't remember this thing anymore. They don't know how to use it, what it's for. All the memories that were connected to this thing are just erased from their mind. So, and the things can be totally random things, like flowers, hats, perfume, whatever. Next book that is also shortlisted, The Adventures of China Iron by Gabriela Cabenzas Camara. And in this book we follow a story of a young girl who is very young. She's 16 years old, I think. When she was 12, her husband just won her in a bet and she became the wife of this man. Now he is summoned to the army and he left the house, and she just uses the opportunity to run away. She comes across an English lady who was traveling through Argentina to find the land that she bought. She and her husband actually bought that land, and they wanted to build a farm there. And so it's a book about relationship of these two women relationship. Next book is my favorite. I love it so much. This is The Enlightenment of the Green Gate Tree by Shukufeh Azar. This is a story about Iranian revolution and a family caught up in this revolution and just trying to survive, trying to preserve their freedom, and running away from Tehran into a remote village. And this book is so beautiful and so poetic, and it's so filled with Iranian folklore and Iranian culture. I love this book. Then one more book is by a German author, by Daniel Kellman, and this is Teal. And this is a story of a trickster, and also a story of 30-year war in history of medieval Europe. And so basically it's a story of war and how war affects people and nationalities. This book has a very interesting style of storytelling. This is the best part for me, was the storytelling of this book. I really enjoyed it. Next book, to be honest, I really didn't like this book, but this is The Discomfort of Evening, and this is a story about grief, and I guess this is an exploration of grief because in this story we follow a whole family who lost a son. It's about them not really coping. They aren't coping with this grief, they're just drowning in it. And I don't know, for me this book was just there was nothing good. There was no hope, there was no light, there was just pain and suffering and darkness. And that's why, to be honest, this is not my favorite. But yeah, a lot of people enjoyed it, a lot of people liked it and appreciated it. It's just that I unfortunately wasn't one of those people. But yeah, so this is one more book. And the last book is Hurricane Season by Fernanda Melcar. This book also wasn't my favorite, but to be honest, I haven't finished this book, but I feel like I need to come back to it and I need to read it because I have seen so many people praising this book so highly. I had comments in my previous video talking about this book, how beautiful the language is, how interesting the storytelling. I don't know, maybe I just wasn't in the zone for it, maybe I wasn't in the right state of mind for this book, because so many people just absolutely love this book, and I feel like I need to come back to it and read it again. But just I need to prepare myself, because this book is dark. It's not dark, it's dark. It's like super, I don't know, it's just so hard to read. Like again, everything was just bad, like everything was, I don't know, terrible. I feel like I need to come back to it, but I just need to prepare myself, you know, for this book, like mentally. So here's our shortlist. Now, as for me, like my personal, like you have already understand, you already know that my absolute favorite book is this one. So The Enlightenment of the Green Gage Tree is like by far, by like 1,000 millions, okay, maybe not 1,000 million kilometer, but like by so far, this is my favorite book. I just adore it. I adore it, like with my whole heart. Just it was so beautiful. Like the story is so beautiful. There is also, it is a difficult story. It is a tragic story, but it has hope. You know, it has hope, and you can see strength in people. You can see human resilience in this book. There is hope in this book, you know. There is hope, and that's why I love this book so much. So I would say that for me, I would so much love this book to win. I really want this book to win. So this is like my personal love and preference. As for like other books, I feel like I would be personally disappointed. I'm sorry, but like I'm just obviously talking about my personal, you know, opinions, personal feelings. But like I personally would be upset. I feel like I would be disappointed if this book won, because for me it is important. Like the message of the book for me is important, and I feel like in this book, like what was the message of it? Like everything was just terrible. The last 100 or like 150 pages I was reading, like just, oh, I was just, it was so disgusting to read. It was so gross to read. It was so, I hated my reading experience of this book. I genuinely hated it. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Like it's just my you know, personal, very much personal. I'm just honest with you, but I hated reading this book. Like every time I had to come back to it and pick it up and read it, like for the video, I wanted to cry. I genuinely wanted to cry because I did not want to read it. Like if it wasn't for the video, if I hadn't set up like this, like I need to finish it for the video, I would DNF it. That's what I did with Hurricane Season, because like the second dark book I already couldn't take anymore. Really didn't like this book. It wasn't for me. It wasn't my cup of tea. Like it so much wasn't my cup of tea. Yeah, I would be disappointed if it won, to be honest. For the rest of the books, I cannot really say, like, because I haven't finished Hurricane Season and I'm willing to give it another try. In case of this book, I know I will never read it again, like never in my life, no. And as for the other books, I feel like if Teal won, I would also like understand it, I would accept it, I would be like, you know, I would be composed with this decision. So Teal would be also, I feel like, a good candidate for winning. In case of these two books, I wouldn't understand. These are good books, but I feel like they could have been done but like there were elements that I wanted, especially like in Yoko Ogawa's book, there was an element that I really wanted to be explained and it wasn't. Like I feel like it wasn't thought through, at least like, I don't know, for me. In case of this book, it was just okay, like it didn't create any strong emotions in me. It was just like, okay, I guess I wanted more. So yeah, these are my feelings. I really hope that The Enlightenment of the Green Gage Tree wins. Like for me, this is like the strongest book from the shortlist. I feel like it's, out of all the 6 books, Enlightenment of the Green Gage Tree is the strongest. So I hope it wins. Okay, now let's watch the announcement video. Okay, let's begin. So you will see me watching here because my laptop is here. I will be wearing my headphones because otherwise it will be torture to edit this video. That's why I will be sitting with my headphones. Okay. Yeah. You see? Hello. Okay, let's watch.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 2020 International Booker Prize winner announcement. Brought to you this year, not from the Roundhouse, but appropriately enough for an international prize, from various locations around the world, including my back garden.
Okay, so now the announcement, and I am so excited.
Chairing the International Booker Prize was always going to be an experience of a lifetime. In this tumultuous time, when distraction reigns, the best fiction roots us in the irreducible truth of another life and returns us to our own with a renewed sense of wonder at the strange and shimmering lot of humanity. We were looking for fiction that goes beyond echoing the dystopian world we all now seem to inhabit. Fiction bold enough to burst the banks of the novel itself and upend mythic foundations in order to unsettle and elate us. Fiction fiercely committed to rendering the epic and the everyday with a singular intensity, in translations that answer the call of that artistic challenge with integrity and precision. As you've seen just now, we were richly rewarded by the discoveries we made along the way. We marveled at Shikufe Ozar's artful and courageous interweaving of magical realism with Persian poetry in The Enlightenment of the Green Gage Tree, a novel of historic urgency and universal resonance. Through the spirited work of an anonymous translator, we trace the ghostly flight of a family atomized by revolution, but who are bound together beyond authoritarianism, censorship, and even death. The Adventures of China Iron is a compelling reimagining of the gaucho epic tradition, a disarming and deepening love story that upends swaggering notions of masculinity, nationhood, and empire building along the way. If an ancient trickster is abroad, making mischief and sowing chaos. Till is the perfect avatar for Daniel Kelman's virtuosic and mordantly funny sensibility, and Ross Benjamin's translation brilliantly conjures the gritty and gleeful comedy of this historical epic, which chimes eerily with our present. Hurricane season heralds the arrival of a major talent for English language readers. Propelled by a finely controlled rage, the 8 incandescent paragraphs of Fernanda Melchor's novel lay bare the currents of violence, corruption, and misogyny that course beneath the surface of a rural Mexican village. Sophie Hughes's translation nimbly keeps pace with this torrential flow of language, and the result is a work of singular and savage brilliance. From rural Mexico to a Japanese island in the near future, where things, hats, ribbons, birds, simply vanish. Written in the early 90s, The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa is a work of mythic resonance, part allegory and part dystopia, at once an investigation of the unsayable and a moving meditation on family, love, and loss. Stephen Snyder's deft translation ushers us into a strange and muted world, punctuated by moments of revelation. And from a Japanese island to a Dutch dairy farm, and the visceral pangs of a young girl in the grip of grief for an abruptly departed brother. Through pungent comedy and the sheer poetry of its perceptions, Marieke Lucas-Reinveld's The Discomfort of Evening is a work of spellbinding beauty, translated with truly breathtaking sensitivity by Michelle Hutchison. So we had set ourselves an immense task in selecting one winner from these 6 superb contenders. And I want to say again how much my fellow judges and I found to admire in the work of these exceptional authors and translators. In a virtual meeting that lasted nearly 5 hours, we delved deeply into our readings and rereadings and emerged collectively with a deserving winner. In truth, this book astounded us all when we first encountered it early in the judging process, and our fascination has only deepened on a second and third rereading. An act of translation that demanded the highest level of sensitivity to render such a distinctive and poetic perspective. This is a novel of undeniable force by a writer of thrilling talent and ability. an unflinching look at the underbelly of family life, a tender and a visceral evocation of the strangeness of a childhood caught between shame and salvation. I am delighted to announce that the winner of the 2020 International Booker Prize is The Discomfort of Evening by Marieke Lucas Reinveld, translated by Michelle Hutchison. Congratulations.
I have the really happy task of joining this call to tell you the news that you have won the International Booker Prize.
Wow! Oh, that's great! Oh my god! Oh. Wow!
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be able to tell you this news, and I wish I could be there in person to tell you, but the judges and I were absolutely astounded by the book from early in the judging process, and our fascination with it has just deepened every time we've returned to it. It's such a deserving winner, and I'm really, really thrilled to be able to tell you this.
Oh my god! Oh, okay, I'm very surprised. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, yes. Yeah.
What should I say? What can I even say? When he was saying like the poetical language of the book and like blah blah blah, and I was like, is it the enlightenment? And I'm like, oof. So the discomfort of the evening, huh? Well, I mean, congratulations. Like, some people probably liked it. Just that it wasn't me. I don't know what to say. I have already said that I did not enjoy that book. Didn't like it, and like for me this was the winner, like hands down the winner. Discomfort of the evening, huh? Well, things cannot always go the way we expect them to. Oh, I'm sad, to be honest. I'm really sad. I don't know. I didn't like the book. Well, anyway, so this is the result. The discomfort of the evening won. However, I would definitely recommend you to give a try to the books. Judge for yourself if you want to read Discomfort of the Evening, but just prepare yourself that it's like very, very dark, and it's very uncomfortable also. It's gross at some points. Just like prepare yourself for that. Also just be ready, like if you are if you aren't in a good mental state, if you aren't in like good emotional state, if you are sad or depressed, or you have some like, I don't know, maybe problems in your life, do not read this book. Like, do not read it then, because it will put you in a worse state. Like in my case, I was okay, and when I was reading this book, it made me miserable. So if someone is in a bad state of mind or bad like emotional state, like this book isn't for them, like the way I feel it. So like just decide for yourself if you want to read it. I have already said that I didn't like it. But again, it's just me, it's only my personal opinion, so everybody decides for themselves. So this was the end of a very long video. I will edit it down. We will see how long it's going to be. I'm sad. I'm sad with the decision. I was so convinced. I was so convinced that this book was going to win. It's okay. It's okay. This book is my winner. this book is my winner. It won for me. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what any committee says. This book is a winner for me. So yes, I personally would highly recommend to read you this book. I feel like it's the best. I will definitely reread it. I will definitely come back to it like 100 times. And I know for sure that I will never come back to this book. I am so sorry. But I'm just, you know, talking about myself. So yeah, but all the other books, like Yoko Ogawa Memory Police, definitely highly recommended. Teal, 100% highly recommended. Like China Iron, highly recommended. And Hurricane Season, I cannot really recommend it because I haven't finished it, but I personally want to give this book another try, so we will see. But yeah, so this was the video. I'm disappointed. I'm going to eat because this is my coping mechanism. If I'm upset, I eat. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry for this like little bit random video, but because I was so excited. I was so excited for this book to win. Oh, okay, anyway, sorry. Oh, I don't even know what to say. I'm so upset. Okay, have a good day. I hope maybe you will give some of these books a try. Yeah, I'm upset, sorry. Have a good day. See you in my next videos.